Greetings, Exiles. BullShifter here, back with another PS4. I guess this is more of an announcement video than an actual tutorial today. I wanted to kind of go over the Flashback synthesis event that's going to be starting this Saturday. Here in the US, I believe some users from the other side of the world, it may not be starting for you until Sunday, technically, because of time zone differences. But I just kind of wanted to go over some of the basics. I'll probably just do a little bit of gameplay here in the background while I discuss things. Just to kind of go over the basic mechanics of the league and essentially why I think for PS4 in particular that it's going to be a good thing, even though on PC and Xbox One, not quite as much. So to kind of put everything into perspective, what the Synthesis Flashback League is, it's essentially going to be a brand new start. So when the league starts on Saturday, you are going to have the option of creating a brand new character. Now, keep in mind that your brand new character is not going to be able to share any of your stash or items or anything else with your current Synthesis character. It's being treated kind of as its very own league by itself. Just like when you first started Synthesis League, if you had a standard character, how you can't share stash or any of your items or anything else like that, the Flashback event's going to work the same way. So you're going to be completely starting from scratch. Now, the reason for that is that essentially there's going to be a race going on. And the race is going to be, I believe, and this is how most other leagues have worked, so I believe this is how this one will work as well. Essentially, you're going to be racing to be the first character of your ascendancy to reach level 100. And basically once you reach level 100, the race is over for you. So if you are one of the first two people to reach level 100 in your ascendancy class, you will be the top two will be rewarded with an alternate art. I believe it's called a Demigod's Immortality. And essentially what it is, it's just an item in-game. It's super rare. You can trade it, so it will be very valuable. It gives you a boost to, I believe it increases your size, and it gives you a boost to all of your elemental resistances, as well as all of your attributes. So it is a good item. However, it's probably actually not going to fit into most builds. It's essentially... it's something to show off more than anything else, that, you know, you've gotten this super rare item that's not obtainable any other way except for, you know, placing top two in this race or by buying it from someone who did finish top two. The next three people, so third, fourth, and fifth, will receive the same item, just a standard looking version of the item. And again, there's no other way to earn the item. It just looks a little different. Just to kind of, I guess, make the top two feel a bit more special than the next 3 through 5. Now, keep in mind, this is also being rewarded per ascendancy. So what that means is there's essentially, with the exception of Scion, because there's only one ascendancy for Scion, for each class, so Templar, Witch, everyone that, you know, and everyone else, there's going to be 3 of these rewards. So for each separate ascendancy for each class, you will be rewarded with those if you finish in the top 5. So that's kind of the competitive aspect of the league. However, there are other rewards as well to kind of incentivize you for playing if you're not necessarily, you know, going to be racing through and trying to hit level 100 before everyone else. Some of the other rewards, if you reach level 35 with any character, just once though, you only get this reward once, you get a Glimmerwood mystery box, which essentially holds one random cosmetic item in it. You can only get it once per account, so you can't level multiple characters up to level 35 and hope to earn those, you know, multiple times. However, there is a little bit of incentive if you want to create multiple characters. because each 10 levels after that, so level 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, and 95, you'll be put in a random draw to where you get an entry to essentially get another cosmetic item. So it differs based off of each 10 levels. So for level 55, the random draws for a helmet. At 65, it's a portal. 75 are wings. 85 are different wings. And then at 95, it's a complete armor set. So you'll get one entry for each character that you get to those specific levels. So say you have, 2 level 45 characters, you would then have 2 random draws. Oh, 45 is footprints, by the way. I skipped that one. You would have 2 draws to have an opportunity to earn footprints. And it's purely cosmetic items. They're nothing that's going to necessarily give you an edge over other players. It's just something to make you look cool. If you do want to check out what the exact items are, you can go onto the forums and look at the announcements section. There's a lot of detailed stuff about the event in there. Now, something that kind of makes the event special is the fact that there are going to be 3 modifiers running alongside of Synthesis from past leagues. So what it boils down to, basically, and I'll kind of go through here, and we'll find a safe spot here, and I don't remember them all off the top of my head, but I do have them in front of me, so I can actually read off the other leagues that the content is coming from. So the possible leagues that you can see alongside of Synthesis, so it's 3 modifiers on top of Synthesis, so it's technically going to be 4. It's Anarchy, Invasion, Breach, Ambush, Torment, Parandus, Beyond, Nemesis, Bloodlines, Abyss, and Harbinger. Now, the Delve, Incursion, and Betrayal, those areas are still going to appear at their regular, normal frequency. However, the way that the rotation is going to work for those additional past league mechanics that are going to spawn in with Synthesis on each stage is every hour they'll rotate, and it's going to be every different area. So if you're mapping, you could technically keep running the same map over and over and over again for that particular hour and keep running into the same league mechanics if it's something you want to, grind those mechanics in particular for the drops or the experience or whatever that league may potentially do for your character, or if you just find the combination of them fun and want to continue to run them. You have that option until the next hour hits and the league mechanics, randomly re-roll again. Now, it doesn't just pertain to mapping as you're leveling through the story. It'll be every single different story area as well. We'll do the same thing until the instances, reset. I wouldn't necessarily recommend grinding the different story areas, just because if you're trying to participate in the race or level up, clearly you're going to want to progress through the game and level up as quickly as possible. However, this may sound daunting to some people because you're probably thinking like, oh man, I've been working on my Synthesis character the whole time this league's been going. I still don't have a level 100 character. I don't have a level 95 character. Maybe you don't even have a level 85 character. Leveling is going to go much faster during this flashback event because of those random modifiers that are being added. Obviously, they'll all do different things, but one thing that they will have in common is you're going to find better items, and you're going to get a lot more experience because monster density is going to be through the roof compared to what these normal areas are like. So basically, the main idea is there's going to be a lot more monsters for you to kill, so you're going to get a lot more experience, and you're going to get a lot more items. So the rewards are going to be better. Now, one thing that's kind of, I guess we'll say disgruntled some of the PC community and probably some of the Xbox community as well, is the fact that the items gained in this league are going to be transferred over to standard leagues once the event is over. Now, on PS4, you're probably wondering, kind of what's the big deal with that? It's probably good to keep your items. The reason why it's not necessarily so good for, potentially Xbox but mostly PC players is the fact that it's going to deflate the market a little bit, because you're going to see all of these, items dropping, people selling them in the standard league markets, once the league is over with and all those items transfer over. And we don't have that problem on PS4. If anything, this is going to benefit PlayStation 4 players, because right now our market is ridiculously inflated. Items are being listed for far too high. People are asking ridiculous prices for items that just aren't worth the asking price. So this should help balance that out a little bit, at least in Standard League, which will be beneficial towards, PlayStation 4 players, in the short term. Now, the other reason why, and the main reason why, a lot of PC players aren't super excited is, they've been waiting for a new event, and essentially they're just getting, repeat content of stuff that they've already done a few times before, which is understandable. That's another benefit for PlayStation 4 players, is the fact that we're going to get to experience some league mechanics that we haven't seen yet, some stuff that we missed out on because the game simply wasn't out on PlayStation 4 yet. So overall, like I said, it's probably going to be a huge benefit towards PlayStation 4 players, this event. Not so much for Xbox One players, and definitely not for PC players. But it gives us a chance to enjoy some league mechanics that we haven't seen before, and also, like I said, hopefully help balance out that market in Standard League and bring some of those prices down. One of the reasons why that's so important also, and it's something you should keep in mind when you're listing your own items, is simply the fact that an overly inflated market, it doesn't help anyone. So look at it this way. If people are selling, mid-tier uniques for, a handful of exalted orbs, and, the lower tier players, the lower level players aren't able to afford those items in order to help their player progress, that's less players who can potentially be out there looting items and adding to the marketplace. So those players get frustrated. They can't progress. They can't purchase items. There aren't more people, posting items up for sale, so those inflated prices are remaining. Meanwhile, those people who are posting those overly inflated costing items aren't actually selling their items because none of the other players in the game can afford those items, and everything just grows kind of stagnant. Sellers aren't able to sell items because they're overpricing, and buyers aren't able to afford the items because they're not progressing without the items, and they're essentially waiting for that special drop. And that's not to, put blame on anyone. The game is new on PS4. People don't exactly know the market value of items yet. This is, kind of the struggle early on of creating an in-game economy, and eventually it'll balance itself out. But I do believe that this Flashback event is going to help us a lot in creating a bit of balance in the marketplace, at least in the Standard League, which eventually will go on to kind of dictate some prices for items, and it'll transfer over to the new leagues that come as well. So the market will kind of start to balance itself out, and people will be able to buy and sell at more reasonable prices. But that essentially covers my, opinions on the league and most of the league mechanics. Obviously there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to happen in this league with the past league mechanics that most PS4 players have not seen before. I'll probably do quite a bit of streaming of this, new Synthesis Flashback League for the 1 month that it is ongoing. Like I said, it starts on Saturday and goes until the end of the Synthesis League. So I'll probably make a few videos explaining some of those league mechanics as the league goes on. So don't worry if there's some things you don't understand at first. I would kind of take it as it comes and just, kind of enjoy the game feeling a bit different. I would personally recommend people try out some new builds for this league. I just like to try out different builds for every league I play in general, and since all these characters get transferred over to Standard League anyways. It gives you more options of characters to play when you do decide to play some Standard League play, as opposed to, you know, if I just kept creating Inquisitor Templars, having, you know, 6 different Inquisitor Templars in my Standard League. That's not going to give me a whole lot of diversity on the characters that I can play. So if you do have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments section below. Admittedly, they haven't, you know, posted a whole lot about the actual league mechanics aside from, you know, the basics so far. So I may not be able to answer everything. However, like I said, I will do a lot of coverage of this Flashback league. Make quite a few different videos explaining mechanics, some strategies, and just kind of having some fun with the league in general. So once again, thanks for tuning in. The channel's been growing. More and more people have been participating in the streams. There will be one later tonight. I've been doing them every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if they continue to grow, that schedule may get a bit more frequent, which I will announce in videos and also update the this video description section if I do decide to add additional days. There may be some surprise streams here and there, but for the most part, the main streams are still taking place Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So again, thanks for watching the video. Hope you learned something, and as always, may the RNG be with you. Always.